Hey there, Saints. Pastor Dave here with another weekly devotion for you this Wednesday. Hope you're doing all right today. I'm going to share a quick reading from Coffee with God by Sarah Arthur. This is a devotional about Lenten fasting. Yesterday, a friend of mine suggested we turn our plates and give up lunch today in order to concentrate on all the prayer requests that keep piling up in our church. I'd never heard that phrase, turn our plates, before. But it makes a lot of symbolic sense. When we fast, instead of piling our plates with food, we are in essence turning them over and placing them face down on the table. The overturned plate becomes a visible symbol of our self-denial and reminds us to pray for the requests before us. We can do this wherever we are, at school, at work, at home. But of course, it's easy to say. The hard part is actually doing it. I've already mentioned that fasting, going without certain things like food or TV, is a big part of Lent. In the past, I've experienced how difficult it is for me to fast from a meal when I'm home alone, how it gives me a headache and makes me crabby and causes me to be generally unproductive all day. Well, that's all still true. I'm feeling it right now. Yet, it seems a little easier today than it has in the past, and I think it's because I've taken the idea of turning my plate literally. At noon, instead of merely trying to ignore that it was lunchtime like I usually do when I'm fasting, I went into the kitchen, pulled a plate out of the cupboard, poured myself a glass of water, and sat down at the table with my empty plate in front of me. And I prayed a prayer of thanks for my fast before taking the plate in my hands and very deliberately turning it over. Sitting there during the lunch hour, sipping water, looking at my overturned plate, and praying through the list of prayer requests was a powerful reminder that I am in fact giving up food, not merely trying to ignore it. As I go through the rest of the day, my plate is still over there on the table, face down, visible from every part of our main living space. Does it stop my stomach from growling? No. Does it make the full cupboard any less tempting? No. But it visibly reminds me that I've made a decision. And somehow, that helps. What other visible reminders can I put in my life to represent the decisions I've made for God? Saints, I really like this devotion. I think it's a great one for Lent. Maybe it would have been better to share earlier as we got started on our Lenten disciplines, but nevertheless, maybe now is a good time to have a reminder that what we do, the things that we give up, or the practices that we change, the ways that we deliberately reorient ourselves during Lent aren't just a matter of trying to forget or trying to avoid, trying to ignore the way that we normally operate. It is really more a matter of deliberately choosing to do things differently. And in Sarah's example with the plate at lunchtime, having that visible expression of not eating, choosing not to use that time for a meal, but choosing to use it for something else, is really a great way of practicing mindfulness about Lent. You know, what are some of the things that we might choose to give up for Lent? Coffee or sweets or screen time. We can try to just forget about these things. We can try to avoid them because we know that they are tempting to us, and so we might think that success is just when we go through a day without thinking about those things. But really, if we were doing it more mindfully, the point of the Lenten practice, the Lenten fast, is that we use the time or the effort or the focus that we would have given to that thing and turn it in a more godly direction. So, when we think about coffee, if we have a habit of a daily coffee run at 2 o'clock, it's not just about skipping that. It's about taking that time and doing something else with it. Maybe sitting down and reading scripture in the Starbucks parking lot instead of going in for that Frappuccino. Maybe screen time. We have a problem with screen time. We've tried to cut down on that. Maybe it's not just a matter of not getting on the phone and picking it up to start scrolling social media. It's when I do that, instead of getting on the app, I pull up my phone book and I make a call to someone who maybe needs a little encouragement. It's about using the time, using the opportunity that we normally would have given to something else and giving it to God. Saints, what are some of the visible ways that you can help remind yourself to do that during this Lenten season. That's your devotion for this week. Hope it's helpful and worth thinking about for you. Hope you're doing well, staying healthy. I'll be praying for you, saints. Please keep praying for me, and I'll see y'all again soon. Take care.